Hello, my name is Timothy Smith. I am a board member for the Association for Early Learning Leaders, and I currently serve as the chair of the Advocacy Committee. We would like to review this brief article with you about words matter, the way we describe ourselves as early educators in the early education industry. Throughout this short video, you will see a QR code that will take you directly to the website for the Association for Early Learning Leaders. On this website, you will find helpful letters that you can send out to your teachers, your families, and members of your community to help educate them that words matter. We are early educators. This conversation is not new. This conversation is not always easy. This conversation is, however, necessary. An article published by HuffPost in May of 2014 called Daycare Disrespect: Why What We Call Childcare Matters discussed the need for a shift in terminology and made a compelling argument using a then recent study from Science magazine on the benefit and value of early childhood education, and a New York Times article that referenced the study. Here is an excerpt from the HuffPost article by Catherine Ross from Texas Women's University. In March, a study was published in Science magazine that contained remarkable statistics about the effects of good childcare on later life. Briefly, it was found that not only did people who received stimulating, appropriate care in their earliest days have stronger cognitive abilities compared to a controlled group who did not, they were also notably healthier physically once they reached adulthood. This study makes plain what logic has always dictated, but what we in the United States don't always act on at the institutional level. Good childcare from the earliest days, both at home and when the parents are at work, is absolutely crucial to the development of healthy, productive adults. The author of the study used the term high-quality early childhood programs to describe the kind of care that children who grew up to be healthier received. But when the story was reported in the New York Times, the paper used the term full-time daycare to describe the program. For those of us in the field of early childhood development, the term daycare, so common that even an august institution like the New York Times would use it, daycare is a maddening phrase. Here's why. The term daycare diminishes how complex and nuanced offering good quality childcare is. Nearly a decade has passed. An abundance of research has been completed to further support the validity and the importance of the work we do, and yet we still battle to be seen as more than daycare workers and daycare centers. Here are just a few reasons why the words we use matter to both early educators and those who rely on them to provide children with the very best starts in learning and in life. Research-supported need for early education. Research overwhelmingly tells us that establishing educational foundation in our youngest learners plays a crucial role in shaping a child's development and future success. Educational emphasis. The term daycare may imply a focus solely on supervision and custodial care rather than education. Using terms like early childhood education and early learning emphasizes the educational component of the services provided, highlighting the critical importance of learning and development for young children. Professional recognition. Professionals in the field of early childhood education prefer terms that reflect the educational nature of their work. Using these references helps acknowledge and affirm this critical role they play in children's development. Stigma. The term daycare carries stigma that downplays the significance of the work done by educators in these settings. This often inhibits our ability to attract quality talent to fill vacancies in early education classrooms. So how do we change the narrative? Internally, we must consistently infuse each role and each person in every education with significance and professionalism, and change the way we see and value ourselves and the important work that we do. Externally, when we encounter daycare references, we must respectfully and consistently share the story of what we do, why we do it, and why it matters. We have seen some changes from daycare to childcare, and that's a positive step in the right direction. In an article called The Curriculum of Care, author Carol Garboden Murray explains, the pedagogy of care is an applied science. Now more than ever, we possess the brain research that demonstrates children are learning from the moment they are born, and the most meaningful lessons are embedded in care. Care is not something we do in addition to or instead of education. Care is education. This is the real story of who our amazing early educators are and what they do. While we are encouraged by the progress being made, there is still work to be done to change the daycare narrative, and we all have our part to play. Many of the incredible people who have chosen this career path had no idea when they said yes to that first job opportunity in early education that their life would be forever changed. As you experience the joy and the awe of introducing young children to that magic and wonder of learning and watching them grow and evolve, you realize that this is so much more than a job. It is a vocation and a calling that has life-changing implications. The simple truth is this: we do not care for days. We proudly and passionately steward the very first educational and life foundations of the world's most valuable resources, children. We are early educators.